What great memories. What a great character as well. Now, Rude, don't go away, but I do have to warn you here, you're not going to like exactly what's coming up, because we begin our look back at the action from this season's FA Cup, sponsored by Littlewoods. 564 teams entered in all, but the event really sprang into life when two giants came out together in the third round draw. Jim Rosenthal with the first chapter of The Road to the Final.
Round 3, enter the holders Chelsea and Manchester United, storming through Europe and at their Premiership peak. The FA Cup's on the move.
Cole's cross deflected, Sheringham trying to make something of it. Beckham has made a goal of it. Manchester United lead. It's David Beckham. It's there. It's Beckham again. He scored twice in 5 minutes and Manchester United have control. Comes the counter-attack, led by Cole, and Sheringham in space in the middle for now. It's still Andy Cole. Oh, he's done it all by himself. On towards Andy Cole, trying to get free of Michael Dubry. It's Cole again. It's Manchester United 4, Chelsea 0. Hicks and Beckham working it short between them. Beckham into Sheringham. 5-0. It's Teddy's turn.
United declare there. Graham Lassau's reaction to his delightful chip tells its own story. It's Arrivederci, Chelsea. Unknown to Arsene Wenger, the pattern for the campaign starts here. Failure to win at home, high drama on foreign fields.
Rimondi on for Bergkamp. Always a threat whenever he's anywhere near the goal. And that's a fabulous strike from Dennis Bergkamp. Played in by Foyle. Ainsworth. A chance, and it's there! Gordon! Now Ian Bogey. Seaman with a great save. Alan Tackard. Responsibility on his shoulders now. Oh, he's missed it! It's all over. And Arsenal are through to the 4th round, but only by the skin of their teeth.
It's a sad way to finish a game, but, you know, it makes heroes out of some people.
There's heroics from Stevenage of the Vauxhall Conference. Giuliano Grazioli ensures a famous triumph at First Division Swindon. Grazioli and the Borough have bigger fish to embarrass in the next round. Emley from the Unibond Premier almost go the full distance at Upton Park until John Hartson's late intervention. They started 6 rounds earlier in the summer against Workington. The run puts Emley, it's between Huddersfield and Barnsley, on the footballing map. Cheltenham, inspired by the example of Cup veteran Clive Walker, take Reading to a replay. Further riches are snatched from their grasp by Martin Booty's daisy cutter. Mention Hereford, every Newcastle fan shudders. Tranmere survived the Edgar Street experience. Gary Jones gets a beauty. No Ronnie Radfords this time. Just listen for referee Dunn's final whistle. Shades of Clive Thomas and Argentina 78. Wimbledon nearly blow up. They've got enough puff, though, to win the replay. Passions run high in the FA Cup. One little thing, and you see red. Paolo Di Canio's blue and white touch paper is lit by a disputed throw-in. One man short, then a one-man show in the shootout.
And Brixton got to that one and has given Sheffield Wednesday the advantage here. Goalkeeper against goalkeeper. Pressman to put Wednesday through. Oh, and Chamberlain got a hand on it, but couldn't keep it out.
High tension too between relegation scrappers Barnsley and Bolton. Desperate to claw back Darren Barnard's strike, there's understandable agitation when the ball's slow emerging from the home dugout. A bit of push and shove. Then something more serious. At the end of it all, the long arm of the law takes a steward for an early bath. Bolton get the ball back, but can't collar Barnsley. Arresting Sunderland's Kevin Phillips proves to be beyond Rotherham's powers. Phillips pickpockets 4 out of 5 at Millmore. A double whammy for Merseyside. The brilliant Darren Huckabee inspires a Coventry win at Anfield. Next day, a ghost returns to haunt Everton at Goodison.
Beresford. Pistoni's gone outside him. Still Beresford. A long cross to Gillespie. Played in first time quickly. Barnes almost on the end of it. And it's being pushed in. And who scored it? Ian Rush.
Ruud, how much do you think that heavy defeat for you at Chelsea against Manchester United had to do with your losing a job?
I think nothing, no.
Nothing at all?
No.
No influence on it?
Maybe that could be another reason, but I don't know.
Everybody's still trying to find the reasons, I know that. How do you feel about it? I mean, there's Gianluca Vialli, he's been just a couple of months in it, he's picked up a couple of trophies. Now, does that annoy you, or are you pleased for them?
No, I'm pleased for the players, because players, you feel, and also you spoke with them before the final. For them, you hope they win it, because that's what it's all about. It's not about me, it's about the team. And I was hoping that they would win the game, for sure. And everybody knows that that they won it, and that is your team. Yeah. And maybe next year they can change things on it. And of course, it's annoying, but that is the reality. But everybody, the recognition for these two victories for you, is, I think, also worthwhile.
Are you still friends with Gianluca?
I haven't spoken with him, so I don't know.
Anybody there? Have you?
Yeah, I spoke with players.
Yeah.
A lot of players. When I come to London, we had some dinner with each other, and we chat with each other. Like I said, the players, for the players it's very hard, very difficult.
Okay, thank you. Well, lots more to come from Wembley, including a chance to win £1,000. But now it's time to go to ITN for the latest national news from Carol Barnes.
Good afternoon. Airports in Indonesia are being flooded with foreigners all trying to escape the violence sweeping the country. Troops are maintaining order in the capital, Jakarta, but there are fears that the rioting has spread to other major cities. Tom Bradby reports.
The city's streets may be calmer, but Jakarta's airports are still besieged this morning with foreigners trying to get out. Most governments have advised their nationals to leave, and thousands of expatriates are trying to get onto flights to anywhere they can.
I think the problem is that nobody really knows what's going to happen, and that's what's the frightening thing, that nobody knows whether it's going to get better or worse.
We said goodbye to the household staff this morning, and they were crying and we were upset, so I really feel bad for the country,
In central Jakarta, at least, the streets are quieter, but elsewhere reports suggest the rioting is spreading. And in the capital, the death toll continues to mount as rescue workers and relatives complete the grim task of sifting through the burnt-out wreckage. It's by no means clear the crisis is over. President Suharto shows no sign of stepping aside or offering significant and swift political reform. Tom Bradby, ITN.
And Indonesia will be high on the agenda for the world leaders during the second day of the G8 summit. Within the past hour, the leaders have formally backed the Northern Ireland Peace Agreement, calling it a basis for political stability and economic prosperity. Our political editor, Michael Brunson, reports.
Even at the leaders' more relaxed country house session today, there was the media to face and business to do. With a "come on, guys," Mr. Blair took them inside.
Whoa. Right, come on, guys, let's go.
There they worked on a number of declarations. One wore back the Northern Ireland Good Friday package, underlining how peace should bring still more prosperity to the province. The Prime Minister is said to be less pessimistic than some about the unionist vote, whilst acknowledging unionist anxieties.
I think what's remarkable is the degree of agreement there is actually about the institutional structure for Northern Ireland. The worry is more on issues like prisoners. And, of course, what's important for people to realise is that prisoner release would happen in any event.
The Prime Minister's also been thinking about the Cup final. He sent a message to Newcastle on number 10 paper. But so has the Japanese Prime Minister, in Japanese. Michael Brunson, ITN, Birmingham.
Well, it's just under a couple of hours now to the big game at Wembley. Victory for Arsenal would mean a second historic double. For Newcastle, it would be a high in a season full of lows. Well, to our sports correspondent, Graham Miller at Wembley. Graham, how's it building up there?
Well, glorious weather here at Wembley for Cup final day. I have to say, so far I've seen more black and white shirts of Newcastle fans than I have the red and white of Arsenal, but I'm sure that will equal out by kick-off time. Now, I am told there are thousands of Newcastle fans coming to Wembley without tickets. The police insist they won't get in. Arsenal fans getting used to the idea of no Dennis Bergkamp, but still confident of doing the double. Newcastle dominated this competition in the 50s, but they haven't been back since 74 when they lost. The fans I've been speaking to say after all the troubles this season, they believe it will be their day.
Of course, it's a big day up in Scotland too, isn't it?
Hearts against Rangers. Hearts have had a good season by their own standards. They're up for this, but this is Walter Smith's last match in charge of Rangers after 10 gloriously successful years. It's hard to see his players not sending him home with one more trophy.
Thank you, Graham. Flowers are still arriving at the home of Frank Sinatra as attention now turns to families squabbling over his fortune. His legacy is likely to grow and grow as record shops here brace themselves for a Sinatra revival. John Taylor reports.
In a central London record store this morning, Frank Sinatra was still wowing his fans. The man may have passed away, but the legend lives on.
I think his music's timeless. I think it appeals, you know, to all age groups. I don't think you categorise it to this age, that age. I think it's a spectrum of all ages.
He just meant a lot, you know, it's part of his little history of growing up.
The stores are gearing up for big sales.
There's an awful lot of interest, sustained interest, so you can see it turning into something quite phenomenal.
In California, meanwhile, the Sinatra home was still being besieged by the media and relatives were dealing with an endless stream of flowers and condolences. New York City did it its way by lighting up the Empire State Building. John Taylor, ITN.
And that's the news so far today. I'll be back with the latest news and sport after the FA Cup final. Bye for now.
Good afternoon. Perfect summer weather for most, but of course all eyes are on the winter game this afternoon, especially up at Celtic Park. Fine and warm, temperatures up to 20, perhaps a little bit warmer still down at Wembley, 23 or 24 with some very bright sunshine, and that goes for much of England and Wales. That sunshine will burn. Some brightness too across Scotland and Northern Ireland. A couple of exceptions, some mist lapping on to a few of those shores, perhaps a little bit of drizzle in the far north, and just the outside chance of the odd heavy shower across the high ground of Wales and the West Country, but most places will escape entirely. Temperatures very nice too inland, 20 to 24 Celsius, perhaps the odd 25 in the south. A little bit cooler on the shores with the wind coming in off the sea. That's it from me. Here's a summary.
Power gen, generating electricity whatever the weather.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Angus Scott. This is London Weekend Today. The family of the murdered London doctor, Joan Francisco, have vowed to fight on following the decision not to prosecute the man named by a High Court judge as her killer.
The family of Joan Francisco made legal history this year when they successfully brought a case for damages against her former boyfriend, who they believe killed her. The outcome indicated that in the eyes of the civil court, Tony Deirdrick was responsible for the young doctor's murder, even though he'd never been charged by the police. The Franciscos were confident that the ruling would pave the way for a prosecution, but the CPS has announced there is still insufficient evidence. Joan's family say they're determined to fight on.
They are going to be advised in relation to judicially reviewing the CPS decision, i.e. challenging its basis. In addition to that, we're also going to advise them on the issue of taking a private prosecution against Mr Deirdrick, i.e. taking criminal proceedings against him themselves.
Joan Francisco was found strangled to death at her basement flat in St John's Wood on Boxing Day 1994. The High Court was told that Tony Deirdrick had persistently stalked her and been violent in the months leading up to her murder. He's now planning his own appeal against the civil court judgment. In central London, this is Louise Bevan for London Weekend Today.
2 Algerian men arrested by anti-terrorist officers are appearing in court today, charged with endangering national security. The 2 men, both in their 30s, arrived at Bow Street Magistrates Court in separate prison vans. They were arrested in a joint operation between the Met Police and the French and Belgian authorities. As Arsenal prepare to take on Newcastle at Wembley this afternoon, the Toon Army has arrived in force. Meanwhile, Gunners fans have been gearing up for the big game in slightly more sophisticated fashion.
We're going to Wembley.
The Toon Army's train has arrived in town, bringing their own particular style to London.
Stylish, man, you know. Handmade suit, made for the occasion. Sister-in-law made it for us. couple of hours, knocked it up, you know, nothing special, nothing too flash.
So I've had no breakfast this morning. This will do me for the day. A few more of these and we'll win quite a few more.
The red and white was out in force for an Arsenal-style breakfast. Wine, that is, a more civilised approach to the day.
I just picked out what red and white stuff I had indoors, and I got me little hat. And I'm just proud to be an Arsenal supporter.
The Lions got no choice what it wears, but sadly these two Newcastle fans have. This is Richard Gaisford for London Weekend Today.
That's it from us. We're back at 5:30. The weather's next, and then we'll be rejoining ITV's coverage of the FA Cup final. But for now, bye-bye.
LWT Weather, sponsored by First Choice Holidays, for a fresh choice.
Good afternoon. Wonderful weekend weather, and really nothing much is going to change over the next few days. The chart this afternoon suitably red, perhaps a hint of the result at Wembley. Temperatures in the low 20s, very nice too. Now this evening and overnight, things slowly cooling down to around about 8 or 9 Celsius. 1 or 2 mist patches perhaps forming towards dawn. They'll soon vanish in the morning, then plenty more sunshine to come. Temperatures perhaps a little bit lower. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by First Choice Holidays on 0891 11 0000.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to Wembley, where I can tell you it is extremely warm. So much so that here at Wembley, the temperature at pitch level currently 90 degrees at this moment. That's unbelievable. Humidity, that is, registering there, 28% humidity, which is quite amazing. What it means, of course, is it will be hugely demanding for the two teams. Now then, let me go back and take you back to the Newcastle United headquarters. Remember that at Hendon Hall we had a bit of a mini drama. It was a case of the coach, which would be carrying the team, having a flat battery. Well, this is the new coach. And the good news, obviously, is that we can guarantee that Newcastle will leave on time and that the 1998 Cup final should proceed on time. Now, Ruud Gullit, you think that the Newcastle lads won't be happy about having to have a new coach at this stage?
No, I think they will be stressed. I think, especially because maybe the manager or people around them, they will be very, very angry about what happened. And the players will notice that. They will be annoyed because in the moment when you will want to go into the bus, I don't know what happened exactly, but if you are in the moment, you want to enter in the bus and the bus is not there, then you are annoyed. And the thing is, it's difficult to get focused again because everybody's talking about it. It's a little bit funny, some think it's funny, some are angry, some can't concentrate themselves. So it will take them at least, 45 minutes again to get back in that. And you're late, you want to go, you can't. So there's all kinds of things that is not very well for your concentration.
Good. Okay, thanks, Rick. Thanks, Rude. OK, now let me take you back to our celebrity balcony, our ITV celebrity balcony, and Jim Rosenthal.
Thank you very much indeed, Bob. We're joined here by two familiar figures, and figures who'll be very familiar on ITV this summer. Frank Skinner and David Baddiel. Now, North v South, you'd be an Arsenal lover, wouldn't you?
No, I hate Arsenal. Hate Arsenal, Jim.
Why is that?
Well, for years and years and years, I had to put up with Arsenal playing the dullest football in the world and still winning everything, and Chelsea not winning a thing. And I can't really get out of my system the idea that they're not boring anymore. But actually, they're not boring anymore, and so I'm just confused. So I don't care that much who wins, so I'm just here to enjoy the spectacle.
And Frank, you haven't got a black and white shirt on. There are a few thousand behind you that have. Tending towards Kenny's team?
Well, my dad was from the northeast, and I'm looking forward very much to seeing this Italian player that they've got. Everyone's chanting about this Toonami. He sounds very good. And Shearer, I love. I don't care what they say about Shearer. He's the boss.
Despite Neil Lennon?
Yeah, I don't care about that. I always preferred Paul McCartney anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that apparently Wenger has brought in this French tactic to work against Shearer, that if he starts playing really well, they're going to park lorries across the goal area. So, that should work.
Have you got any thoughts about the weather? You boys are both looking pretty casual. I mean, it is going to be enormously hot out there.
Yeah, but I think the FA Cup final should be really, really sunny. I remember in '94 when we lost to Man United, one of the things about it was it just really, really rained. It was sunny in the first half and then it really, really rained. And for me, the FA Cup final is always like really bright green pitch and sunny. So I think the weather's really good.
Yeah, I remember the last time at West Brom were in the cup final because that was the ice age.
Remember that far back?
That was the ice age and weather was different then, Jim. There was a woolly mammoth invaded the pitch. It was known as the Woolly Mammoth Final. I don't know if you remember that.
That's a new one on me. Just finally, just tell us about the series coming up during the World Cup on ITV this summer.
It's on every other night. Every other night during the World Cup, fantasy football will be. So it's on like Monday, Tuesday. No, that's wrong. That's not every other night.
That's not every other night. No.
God, that's wrong.
That's the Greek calendar.
Yeah, right.
It's called Fantasy World Cup. It's incredibly funny and it's got lots of brilliant guests that we can't tell you about yet. But we are on every other night and we're really looking forward to it here on ITV.
Absolutely. We'll look out for it. Back to you, Bob.
Hey.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks to Skinner and Baddiel. Well, the early crowds here enjoying the day already and, of course, dreaming their dreams. Both clubs, Arsenal and Newcastle, are chasing their 7th FA Cup triumph. Arsenal won it last just 5 years ago in 1993. Newcastle, well, they go back 43 years to 1955. And after the break, we'll be sharing the journey to Wembley with fans from both sides, and we'll be hearing why the Magpie supporters stick with their club through thick and thin.
There are two ways to stay abreast of the latest TV technology. One way is TV 2000 from Granada. For £5 a week, you get a brand new NICAM TV plus a digital terrestrial decoder when it comes out later this year. Then, after 2 years, you can upgrade to an integrated digital TV, still for the same £5 a week. The other way is to blow 400 quid on a new TV, couple of £100 on a decoder, then shell out again for the integrated TV. Self-recrimination. Terrible thing. Future-proof TV for £5 a week. Call 0800 056 2000.
As a spatial designer, I know that we all need room to breathe. And when I fly in the UK, only one airline gives me the space I need. A separate business class with wider seats, both here in the UK and anywhere else in Europe.
British Midland, the airline for Europe.
Some spiders strum their webs to attract a mate.
There's enough carbon in the human body to make 900 pencils.
If it's below 62 degrees Fahrenheit, a grasshopper can't hop.
The planet Mercury's days are longer than its years.
A fly can flap his wings 20,000 times a minute.
3 channels devoted to nothing but documentaries. All you need is Sky.
They are here. Masters of disguise. They look like us. A bit. They even go to the pub like us.
Greetings! I wish to stimulate my flavor center with my favorite razor-sharp taste.
A number of sharpeners less than 3, but greater than a single unit, please.
2 pints of blackthorn it is, then. They have come for your blackthorn. The finest sharpener in the universe.
Oh man, that's shellfish.
Shellfish? Welcome back to ITV's presentation of the 1998 FA Cup final. These are the scenes around Wembley with just over 2 hours to go to kick off. Fans of the Magpies, that's Newcastle, are some of the best, of course, the most vocal. They've waited a long time for major success. And the Gunners, well, the Gunners follows us there, still wallowing in that dramatic championship triumph. Well, let's concentrate on Newcastle United now. Guaranteed a place in the Cup Winners' Cup, irrespective of the result today. But if ever a club needed a morale-boosting trophy, it's Newcastle United today. It's been a bumpy old season at St James's Park, but the Newcastle fans will always stay loyal to their club, even in difficult times, as Tony Francis reports.
They are different up there. If you're born in Newcastle, you're black and white.
If they score a goal, I automatically stand up and I'm yelling. I don't know why.